You are making the world a better place by listening to the Joy of Living podcast. This is your guide to achieving a more purposeful, powerful, and positive life. Join Barry Shore in unlocking the best version of you and becoming happier, healthier, and wealthier. And now, here's your ambassador of joy, Barry Shore.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking. You're always looking for and finding the good. That's the definition of a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good. You found good in abundance because you have consciously and conscientiously tuned into the Joy of Living podcast with your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. Notice I didn't say the ambassador of joy, the ambassador of joy. And you tuned in for one reason and one reason only. Actually, the best reason in the whole world, because you care the most in the entire world about you. Y-O-U. And that's great, by the way, because when you become the best you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love in the world. And that is the greatest aspect of life. And at this very moment, you are joined by over 380,000 people around the world who are tuning in every single week. And we are humbled and honored to say that you're telling your family and friends. So within the next couple of months, we'll be at over 500,000 people. And what I urge everybody to do is go to my website, barryshore.com, because you'll find everything about our amazing guest today. He's amazing. He's Santa. Yeah, that's right. We invited Santa, and it's not even December. It's just, I needed to share the joy of Santa with you right now because the world needs it, right? And I'm urging everybody to share this podcast and all of our podcasts with 5 people. Notice I didn't say 50 or 100, which is nice. You want to do that? It's great. 5 people. That's it. That way we'll touch over 1.5 million, 2 million people around the world. And urge your family and friends to join in because it's great. Because in this show, we discuss the 3 fundamentals of life. And these 3 fundamentals, when you follow them, will make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. I guarantee it, or your money back. Now, the 3 principles of life, of course, are number 1, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number 2 happens. And there's a good number 2. You go MAD. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. You lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the 3rd fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Simple example. Right now, our show is carried over the internet around the world. If you ask anybody, what does WW stand for? Invariably, it has to do with the internet. Now, factually speaking, they're correct. However, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And what, of course, is a word, right? WHATA. What a wonderful world. And, of course, a tip of the hat and a big thank you to Satchmo, Louis Armstrong, for enabling that song to go viral, not just touch tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet. And what do you do when you hear the opening bars of what a wonderful world? You can't help it. What do you do right away? You smile. Now, smile is one of the most important words you could ever learn, utilize, internalize, and leverage in your life, because SMILE is an acronym that stands for seeing miracles in life every day. That's right, seeing miracles in life every day. So I'll tell you a great story. I do a lot of in-person events. Recently I did one. We had 1,172 people. I'm telling you a story about Barry Shore and about seeing miracles. Some people raise their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, I've been out for hours where I haven't seen any miracles. And I asked them, are you here? Can you hear? Can you stand still? I can't do that. Can you walk? I can barely do that. Do you have water to drink? Do you have food to eat? Do you have family? Do you have friends? Do you have a place to sleep? All of those are a miracle. And what's the proof? Simple proof. 1 million people didn't get out of bed this morning. You know why? They died. By definition, if you're listening or watching, you didn't. Therefore, you have an obligation to live life to the full. Like John, Santa is going to share with us. So I urge everybody to listen to this quick story. It's about me. Imagine I'm standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. And that evening, I am in the hospital, totally, completely paralyzed from my neck down. And it was not because of an automobile accident. And it wasn't a spinal injury. It was a rare disease which took over my body. In the morning, happy and healthy. In the evening, completely, totally paralyzed. I can only communicate by blinking my eyes. I was 144 days in the hospital. I was 2 years in a hospital bed. I couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles, and that was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand. So I'm a triped, not a biped. I can't walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, you hear my voice. Positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, all because of one word, smile. So I'll tell you quickly, though. My 8-year-old niece comes over to me a few weeks ago. And she says, Uncle Barry, can we spell smile S-M-I-E-L? I thought about it. Smile, sounds the same. Why not? Ask her how come. She says, because then it would stand for seeing miracles in everyday life. An 8-year-old, what was she doing? She was creating the kind of world she wants to live in. Now, CREATE is a wonderful acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. It's the ability to rethink situations and shift your perspective. Now, my latest book that we published just the end of 2023 is entitled Oh Shift. And I've been working with people for more than 4.5 decades. And I can tell you, 97.2% of all the people I began working with dropped the F in shift, and the other stuff happened. You got to be careful with your Fs. Shift your perspective. And when you do that, now you can internalize, utilize, and leverage the 6 most important words you'll ever learn. And these words are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will determine the path of your life and the trajectory of your life. So before we bring on wonderful Santa, I'm going to warn everybody, I do use a lot of 4-letter words. And I even use the 4-letter FU word because of the shock value, and it's fun. Now, of course, the 4-letter words that we use, because we live in the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, are love, life, hope, free, gift, play, pray, swim. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun. That's right. F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, some people right away say, hey, Barry Shore, fun's only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, and you see your family and friends, I want you to point your finger, twinkle in your eyes, smile on your face, tell everybody you meet, F-U, but add right away, capital N, and say, where'd you get that? So I listened to Barry Shore on the joy of living. He had on Santa, and he wants to teach the world to F-U. Capital N, capital N. You'll get their attention, and now you can begin to tell them all the wonderful things that we discussed here, because this show is not about Barry Shore, nice guy that he is, or Santa, fabulous fellow. It's about you. So before we bring on amazing Santa, I'm going to urge everybody, use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. It will make you happier, healthier, and wealthier. And these 2 words are thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. Kind is a fabulous word that stands for keep inspiring noble deeds. I can't think of anybody more inspiring and noble deeds than my dear friend Noah Ben Shea. Noah, please say hello to 391,821 people around the world.
Hello to the world. I hope you find a friend in this voice, in this image, speaking with you today.
So those of you who are listening, you can hear that deep resonant voice. And those of you who are watching, you can see that deep resonant voice is carved on his visage as well. This is the poet philosopher of North America. He's a national treasure. He's authored 30 books, translated into 18 languages, and also created one of the more interesting and important films that you'll ever see. It's now streaming on most of the more important places in the world, like Tubi, Amazon, etc. And I urge you, it's called Jacob the Baker. You need to find this and be touched by it. So Jacob, we only have a little bit of time, so let's just jump right in to one of our first topics we want to discuss, which is faith. Faith, F-A-I-T-H, stands for finding answers in the highest. Talk to us about faith from the point of view of you, a great poet philosopher.
Well, I'm first of all amused because we're just beginning our conversation, and you've already addressed me as Jacob rather than Noah.
Oh, did I say Jacob? Wait a minute.
It's
First of all,
okay.
that's great.
In my oftentimes in the series of Jacob the Baker books written across time, people have asked me, "Are you and Jacob the same person?" And my response has been, "We are, but I'm the one with character flaws." So it's a pleasure to talk to you from the perspective of Noah and Jacob, if I might. For me, the issue of faith is very relevant, and I know a lot of people tend to think that if you want to meet a person of faith, then meet a clergyman, a rabbi, a priest. But I'm of a mind that if you really want to meet a person of faith, meet an artist, meet a poet, meet a philosopher. To be a philosopher in this day and age is like someone who throws rose petals into the Grand Canyon and waits for the echo. You have to, I am, and when I remind people that not to have faith, but to be faith. That is, if you want to have peace in your life, be peace. If you want to be loved in your life, be loving. If you want to have faith in your life, be faith. If you have faith, that you're standing outside and saying it's something you believe. But faith is a very reciprocal relationship because while you would keep faith, faith, I think, keeps you. And I think it's not only, if you would, your relationship with the highest, a relationship with God, it's also reflected it's in the sense of the highest relationship with you. So faith, I think, is it's not a one-way street. There's a lot of traffic inside of the experience of faith. And I think a lot of people find themselves faith challenged and tend then to suspect that they're not someone of faith. But I remind you that there is no major religious figure who has not had doubt, and doubt has its it has its role in its relationship with faith. So faith is a dynamic, not a staid term, and for me, it's a 24/7 um, rock and roll show, if I might.
Well, first of all, I love the analogy of the rock and roll show. I also love the idea of throwing rose petals into the Grand Canyon and waiting to hear the echo. And I think, just as you said, the idea of doubt and faith are seemingly related in the sense it's like the dialectic. You need one and the other to really work the process, to sharpen the edge of the being.
It's you can't people tend to forget that they ask in scriptural studies why Abraham rather than Noah was picked to be the father of the people on the plains of Abraham, as we're reminded. Well, when God told Noah to build an ark and he was going to bring a flood on the world, Noah said, "Okay, I'll build an ark." But when Abraham was told that God was going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham argued with God. He says, "What if I can find this number and this number and this number of people?" And they said that because Abraham argued with God in support of people, to be caring to people, to say maybe there is yet someone good, then that's the grounds that brings you into the relationships that allows who was Avram to become Avraham, father of the people. Am is the people in Hebrew. So I think the same is true that if you like to consider yourself a person of faith, then you have to be engaged in faith. And to be engaged in faith is to do the tango with God, I think, on a regular basis. I remind myself in Italian, ogni passo che faccio, every step I take. Ogni passo che faccio, every step I take. Questo è il mio pastore. This is my shepherd. So I think that faith is it's a dynamic. It's dynamic that you need to live inside of the dynamic.
So this, I think, works well with the acronym I coined for your name just as before we went on. Noah, NOAH, nurturing ongoing awareness happily. So it's the continuous idea that awareness is not a static state. It's ongoing.
You know, when Linus Pauling won two Nobel Prizes, one for peace, but the first was for chemistry. And in chemistry, the Nobel Prize he won was because people, when they thought of how, when you think of paint, how paint engaged the table or a wall, people thought literally that the paint was painting on the wall or on the table. What Pauling did is speak to it at an atomic level. At an atomic level, those are all vibrating atoms interacting and engaging with each other, and there's no laying on top of each other. For example, when you sit opposite someone you love, it isn't you here and them there. It's them there, air here, you here, the atomic structure in you vibrating, the atomic structure in you vibrating with the air here, vibrating with the air, with the atomic structure in that person, and it's all engaged. It's a completely dynamic situation. There is no homeostasis.
Well, and this is homeostasis, has nothing to do with sexual orientation.
No, no, it has to do with things being in states of rest.
Right.
They're not.
And it's a first of all, I love that smile. And the genius of what we're talking about now, not we, but what Noah is sharing with us now, is this dynamism of life. And again, that's why I really love Jacob the Baker, because it is dynamic. It's not just a story. It is something that is ongoing, that it's every person. You are in that place. And I think that's one of the things that you were able to bring out in your books and in the movie.
When there's, I please, no, I invite every listener, please see Jacob the Baker. It's now streaming on Amazon Prime, Tubi, Vudu. Up in Canada, it's on Vimeo. If you go to jacobthebaker.com, you can see the trailer. You can find the details about it. Please, we shot this movie around the world. And the movie is not the story of the book, but it's the story of the book's impact on people around the world. And in it, there's a character who's a central character, who's a reporter who's interviewing me the night before I go on the stage for a one-man show as Jacob the Baker, which in fact is completely honest and it was a fact that was in the movie. But at one point, I'm concerned for her, and I begin telling her that when she comes home tonight, I will be waiting up for her the way my mother had waited up for me when I was a child, and my mother would be there in her old house coat and with her hair in rollers and drinking tea from a green ceramic mug that we must have gotten from saving enough stamps at a gas station when I was a child. And when I begin to tell the story to the reporter, my eyes get very misty and I get weepy. And the director at the end of it said, "Boy, that's great. Cut, cut." And he said, "Okay, now we're going to do it from this angle." And I said, "No." And I was the producer of the film, and he said, "Why no?" I said, "Because if I do it from another angle, I'll be acting." And the film and the passport to you, the listener, the passport to your experience in this film is the authenticity of it. And I always remember there was a scene in an old movie called Cat in a Hot Tin Roof with Burl Ives. And Burl Ives walks around the film saying, "Mendacity, mendacity, I smell mendacity." Now, mendacity means dishonesty for people who are of a younger age than myself, and the vocabulary might be escape. I wanted this film not to be. I didn't want the smell of mendacity. I didn't want the film to smell of mendacity. I wanted to smell of authenticity, and we shot the film around the world in the middle of COVID, and uh, it was. People ask me how I was able to accomplish this, and I said if I had known what I was doing, I could have gotten it done. So
That's the genius of not knowing. The genius of not knowing. And again, everything you want to know about, or that's available about Noah Ben Shea and about the movie and about the books, everything, just go to my website, barryshore.com, barryshore.com, BARRYSHORE. And thank God we have hundreds of thousands of listeners all around the world, Noah, and people are leaning in. I urge everybody, just lean in and feel the experience. Don't do anything down at the moment. Just be here, now, present. And that's going to be a great segue. What we're going to do right now, we just do a quick break. We have sponsors. We love them. We would not have them on the show if we don't vet them and feel that they're a benefit to you. So we'll be right back with more Noah and Jacob and Barry. Right after this, don't go away. See you just a bit. Good day, everybody. I have some great, wonderful news for you. Everybody knows that fasting is healthy. Fasting? Healthy? That's right. However, it can be challenging. Not with Prolon. Prolon. Prolon is fasting with food. That's right. Fasting, and you get to eat food. It all starts with Prolon's 5-day program. You get snacks, soups, beverages, and it's all designed to activate your body's fasting state. It's like anything you've ever experienced. I must tell you, if I was going to start a nutrition program, Prolon is exactly what I would use. It's convenient. It's backed by Nobel-winning science, and it works. So right now, Prolon is offering the Joy of Living listeners 10% off their 5-day nutrition program. I urge everybody, go to prolonlife.com/Barry. That's PROLON life.com/Barry for this special offer. 10% off for listeners to the Joy of Living, because you like to live well, and using Prolon will help you live life well. So please go to prolonlife.com, PROLON life.com/Barry for the special offer. Do it now. You will thank me. I love it when you're healthy and happy and making a difference in the world. Best wishes. Bye now. Good day. Beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. If you're good-looking, you're always looking for and finding the good. Our cup runneth over with good. His name is Noah Ben Shea. He's also been known as Jacob the Baker. And Jacob the Baker must be seen. Just go to barryshore.com and you'll see where you can see it. It's on Amazon, streaming on Amazon Prime and Tubi and Vudu and just all over. You must make time to see this for you and your family, because this is an important aspect of educating oneself in what we call the 3 fundamentals of life. Now, we talked about earlier in the show, the 3 fundamentals of life is number 1, life. Your life has purpose. Lead a purpose-driven life. You go MAD. MAD is a great acronym that stands to make a difference. That is the essence of Noah Ben Shea and Jacob the Baker. If you're here, might as well make a difference. Go MAD. And the third is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. So we talked about Noah, nurturing ongoing awareness happily. We talked about faith. We're going to talk now, if you'd be so kind, since you brought it up, honesty. And let me tell you, I just penned an acronym for honesty while we were just waiting for the commercial. And my acronym for honesty, I just made it up. Healthy optimism nurtures enduring success, transforming you. Honesty, Honesty. So with that as an introduction, honesty, authenticity versus mendacity. I love that line. The smell of mendacity. Ooh, that is just horrid. What's honesty? What is honesty, Noah?
There's a line I wrote once that said, anything said about the truth is a lie. The word tree never grew an apple. The word orange never tasted like an orange. My feeling is that a lot of us, honesty is the relationship you have with others. Integrity is the honesty you have with yourself. It's your relationship with yourself. And that If you're not going to be honest with yourself, you're going to subsequently, it's any private dishonesty is going to become a social dishonesty. If you're dishonest to yourself about something, you will need to support that by being socially dishonest in some way. At the same time, while I would offer this as I think it's I think it's I think it's profoundly important that love without honesty is betrayal. Love without honesty is betrayal. But honesty without love is brutality. So the point is, not only a lot of people, if you remember times in your life where someone said, I've got to be honest with you, you really knew they were going to lay something hard on you when they said that. So the question is, how can you be honest with people and be loving of them at the same time? You have to hold both those states simultaneously. And that changes the rapprochement that you have, because if people have to swim through your anger to get to the honesty, they will never go there. So come to them with love and honesty. Hold those states simultaneously. And if you want to know how important it is, think about how important it is for you, right? For someone you love to say, I want to be honest with you. Your husband, your wife, your friend, your son, your daughter, your employer, for them to tell you something that they say is important because it is an honesty for you to come to know, but they tell you that with a loving, caring heart, then you can hear it. And the the teaching of Hillel in the first century BC is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We're reminded that Jesus was a student in the school of Hillel, and the golden rule was from the teachings of Hillel. But my line is that the golden rule is fool's gold if you're prepared to treat others with the same disrespect you have for yourself. So consequently, be loving and honest to yourself. Be honestly loving with yourself. And I think it'll bring a lot more cross respect with others. I know that if you're looking for love, you oftentimes really just have to sit down and have a heart to heart with yourself. So
To say about to thine own self be true.
I just to that exactly, because if you're going to be disingenuous to yourself, you're going to be disingenuous to the world. It just works that way, folks. There's no other. And let me say something. I don't. I'm not sharing this with you from some elevated position. I'm sharing this with you because I've paid a lot to learn this in my own life, and experience. To borrow from Mark Twain, in some way, shape, or form, although this is via Noah, experience is a great teacher, but the tuition is your life, so tuition can be steep.
Right.
But for heaven's sake, try to be one of those people who doesn't have to urinate an electric fence twice to learn that it's electrified.
Wait a minute. That is the excellent visualization from a poet philosopher.
I'm a kid from very much a blue collar family, and in my family, you could be smart, but if you took too long to say it, you're around the dinner table, you're going to get a fork in the wrist. So I'm my work in my lifetime from the poet side of the philosopher is how do you say something with some sense of brevity and perhaps entertainment, and still cut to the truth of it without losing the integrity of the truth.
I lean very near to you because we do, thank God, exchange items on a regular basis. the ability for one to have brevity and entertainment is really a key element in learning, because without play and without fun, it's very hard to learn. It's not impossible.
I'm gonna tell you that fun fun is an anti-gravity diet. If you want to fall down a lot,
Yes.
be somebody who thinks fun is too serious.
I'm of the Norman Cousins world. For those of you on the inside of that, this is so wonderful. And just as an example, I think of what you're saying here, the idea of with honesty in self is, if you take that famous line about, let's say, a rocket ship, and if it's going out into a very far distant place, and if the measurements are off by a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a millimeter, then the actual target will be missed by maybe 100,000 miles. So like you said, if you're not honest with oneself and to the world, it's really going to come off as...
It's, I'll let me borrow from Churchill, who said that, a lie can be halfway around the world before the truth gets its shoes laced up in the morning. It's just, so I just don't, have the courage to have an honest one-on-one with yourself, because that's the basis of personal integrity. And if you don't, you'll pay with your life.
So I would like to make note to you, my dear friend Noah. You just touched on something that I do work with myself. And we both know that pi, is the basis, the foundation of all mathematical calculations and building and such like that, 3.14 extending out.
Yeah.
But pi also stands for personal integrity and is the building block of life.
Well, I'll go tangential from that to share with someone.
That's geometry.
But in any architect will tell you that the foundation determines the height of the building. So if there is dishonesty in your foundation, you're building the Tower of Babel.
And it will fall.
That's right. As I've heard, that's what happened.
Right. Very good. So we're going to do something right now, because we love people who love our show, sponsors. We write back. You don't want to leave. There's a little bit more of Noah on the other side of this break. Don't go away. We're right back after this brief message.
What if you could shop at your favorite local stores, swipe your current credit card and get extra cashback rewards? And what if you could also have donations sent to your favorite cause at no extra cost to you? What if this amazing program was absolutely free and very simple to set up? Well, What If is here. Welcome to Einstein Cares, where your everyday shopping gives you and your favorite cause extra money. It's fast, it's easy, and effortless.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. If you're good-looking, you're always looking for and finding the good. If we found good in abundance, you're leaning in. You can barely wait to learn more from our amazing poet, philosopher, Noah Ben Shea. Some also say, AKA Jacob the Baker. And again, go to barryshore.com, and everything you want to know, or at least most of what you want to know about Noah Ben Shea and Jacob the Baker is going to be there. Just lean in. We only have a few more minutes with this amazing being. And we're going to discuss a word that I think is foundational to what's happening in our world today. The world has been rocked over the past few months. There's war, and there's hatred. There's the antithesis of this word, the P word, peace. And as I said, I just made an acronym while we were on the break. And for me, peace stands for positive enthusiasm, actualizing calm exterior. Talk to us about peace from the point of view of my dear friend Noah Ben Shea and his counterpart, Jacob the Baker.
There's in my personal prayer cycle, one of my meditations, my meditations vacillate between Hebrew, English, Italian, and visualization. And in Italian, it's nella gratitudine trovi la pace, nella pace trovi I benedizione. In gratitude, find peace. In peace, find blessings. So for many years, when I would read the Hebraic prayer book, it asked for shalom v'barucha, for peace and blessings. It was asked for peace and blessings. And I asked myself, why do they put peace in front of blessings? I mean, you would think if you got a blessing in life, that would be as good as you got in life. But then I began to realize, and I share with you, that any peace you find in life is its own blessing. And any blessing that does not bring you peace is no blessing. Anything you pay for with your peace, you have paid too dearly. In this life, peace is the
sine qua non.
Absolutely. Then without not wit, you cannot have something without it is, and again, as with being loving, if you want peace in your life, be peace. It isn't if you're feeling at odds with yourself, then it's you feeling at odds with yourself. And the blessing of peace it's not by chance that whether you reach for when you go from Judaism to Christianity to Islam, if you say Shalom Aleichem, peace on your way, and when you leave you say Aleichem Shalom, on your way, peace. And in Arabic it's salam Aleichem, Aleichem salam. It's the same. It's that word peace as a central. And I don't know. I don't know of a single mother or father who doesn't dream of their children having a life in peace. And I don't know anyone who's been absconded with by snake oil salesmen who sell you that anything is higher than achieving peace in your life. And I don't know if I was to think also of an emissary for peace. That is, if peace was going to send out a courier in your life, I would say it would be kindness. Let kindness be your courier to peace. Jesus said, I am love. Abu Bakr, the first Islamic caliph, first right after Muhammad, who wrote the line, said, if you want the blessings of Allah, be kind. They asked the Dalai Lama what religion he is. He said, I'm a Buddhist, but my religion is kindness. And Jacob the Baker says, people of all faiths are of one faith if their religion is kindness. So for me, I meet inevitably, as you all listeners have met, you meet a lot of people selling a lot of stuff out there. And I only ask one question is, if you're selling kindness, I'm on the bus, honk, honk. If you're not, I'm off. I don't have it in a life too short that we don't have time to be kind and caring to each other all. And none of us snuck out of Egypt in ones. Either we all go or don't. None of us go. If we're not caring of others, then we're self-inflating. We're self-enslaving. So no man is an island unto himself. It's been said many times, many ways, but let me put that another way. If you're going to have an ally in this life, make it peace. And certainly one of the portals to peace is gratitude. My shorthand of late is that make gratitude your attitude, and you will gain altitude. Noah Ben Shea.
Noah, I'm sorry to even say these words, coming to a close of our time together. I have 3 quick questions for you. Are you ready?
I am, my friend.
First question, will you come back again?
Barry, I will. A friend of mine lost a child, and I was attending a burial service, and one of the other children said to me, Noah, do you believe in reincarnation? And I said, I do. I just don't think you have to die to be reincarnated. So I'll be back. But which carnation you see remains to be seen. I'll be back.
Okay, number 2. And you only have 80 seconds to answer this. I think you already did, but we're going to give you 80 seconds more to reformat if you want. Noah Ben Shea, a.k.a. Jacob the Baker, what is your most fervent desire?
The 2 great days in a man's life are the day he's born and the day he knows why he's born. I was born to be a source of strength to others. I'm trying.
I am deeply humbled and honored to be among those that you provide strength to. Thank you. And the third, may I give you a hug in front of 397,819 people around the world.
God only gave you 2 arms, and it's better if you embrace the future than embrace the past. So I welcome that. And Jacob the Baker says, the nicest way to get warm in life is to put your arms around someone else. So, I accept your hug, Barry. Thank you for
hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving.
I share this with whoever's listening last from Noah Ben Shea. Be strong, and be a source of strength to others.
That's a great quote. 1, 2, 3. And of course, you're listening to The Joy of Living with your humble host, Barry Shore, and our amazing, wonderful poet, philosopher, guest, friend, Noah Ben Shea, a.k.a. Jacob the Baker. And this has been a remarkably wonderful, positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant session with you, because we discussed the 3 fundamentals of life. Number 1, life has purpose. You lead a purpose-driven life, you go mad, you make a difference in the world, that's what you do, and unlock the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms like faith and peace and honesty we talked about. And use www, what a wonderful world, regularly. Use 4-letter words that we love, life, hope, pray, play.
Of all the things you can make in life, why not make a difference? Please see Jacob the Baker, now streaming on all the platforms. Enjoy.
You're a madman making a difference. And a blessing from Noah and Barry. Go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Be kind. Keep inspiring noble deeds. Thank you, Noah. Best wishes, everybody.
Thank you, Barry. The same to everyone.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Joy of Living podcast. Now that's another step towards your healthier, happier, and wealthier life. Never hesitate to do good in the world, no matter what the situation. Join us for another upbeat discussion next time at barryshore.com. And be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show to get more conversations like this. And remember to share it with your family and friends too. See you on the next episode.